All right. Let's see. 18. Is this one that we've done or no? We have not. Ooh, this will be interesting. Okay. Let's see. Question of the day is describe an irrational fear that you have, or might have. Maybe you don't have one. And do you show it? Is it something that like comes up?
Jinku's only like real fear, I don't know if it's necessarily irrational, is being all by herself. And I think she kind of, in some ways, makes that clear. Like, she tries to never be without somebody in the group.
Okay. I think it was an irrational fear. I
Yeah,
don't know.
she doesn't have an
Oh,
irrational.
okay, okay, okay. I just make sure.
Well, some people might find that irrational, but that's really her only fear. Like, other things don't scare her.
Okay, okay. All right. Let's see. How about Zara? What irrational fears do you have?
Um, Come back to me.
Okay, we'll come back to you. All right. How about Boo?
I'm not arrogant about it, but I'm well aware that I am the most intelligent of all of us. However, I'm scared that Mix might be more clever than me. I know that he's not, but I can't stop that intrusive fear.
Mm-hmm.
It's that damn friends spell that he uses.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. All right. How about Torta?
Oh, you already know. He fears a world with no tights in it.
Tart shortage.
Oh, that'd be terrible.
All right. Back around to you, Zara.
um, I don't know.
Like, if you don't really have one that you can think of, that's fine.
Like, I don't know if she really has any fears that she would consider irrational.
Okay, that's fair. All right. Got that here. All right, so we certainly got up to some things last time. It's been a little bit. So who wants to fill us in on what's up?
Well, we got put in jail. Somebody, I don't know who, and I don't know anybody who would know who, but like the wife of the guy that I was accused, me and Jinka were accused of possibly, allegedly murdering. She passed away unexpectedly, which was very unfortunate. And then we had a trial where our innocence was proven in a court of law that we did not murder this person. So then we were set free, and I think that was everything.
One of the witnesses died on the stand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we tried to get him to tell the truth, And then
Zone
he
of
die.
truth.
Yes.
Man, who knew when they said the truth will set you free, they meant from life?
Well, you know, it was never specific.
Loophole!
Right. All right. Yeah. So, um, the trial ended in a little bit of an uproar last time. Rabaz, one of the witnesses that they'd had come to the stand, the half-orc bodyguard that worked for the Grahans for a while, mysteriously died while on the witness stand, and nobody seems to have any idea what or who caused that. But in light of that death and the rest of the testimony in there, and the fact that it was revealed that the Grahans had been demon worshippers, which is big no go in Waterdeep. They let you off uh, with this particular instance. Like, yes, you did kill a lord, for at least not a lord, but like a noble of Waterdeep, but they were in somewhat uncouth circumstances, and so that seems to have kind of canceled each other out a bit for the good of the city, as it were.
Taking out the trash.
Taking out the trash. There you go. So you all, they, lead you out of the courtroom, and a lot of people that were there have already kind of quickly left. A lot of them kind of in a shocked panic at this witness that had died. People were wondering, you know, how he died. Is it going to get me? What the heck? So they kind of fled, and as you're being led out of Pierre Duran's palace, where the courthouse is, um, you can see that there's like kind of a lot of hustle and bustle around in there from the various clerks and other people that kind of work in the government building. Seems to be a lot of people kind of huddled up together, whispering, gossiping, wondering what the heck happened. You kind of hear little snippets of phrases as you're kind of being led through here. They have some paperwork to process, and then they'll let you go, give you your stuff back, that sort of stuff. But people being like, did you hear that? Like the witness died. Like there's demons that work in the city, and we're all doomed. That kind of stuff. You know how gossip goes. And
Demons!
demons. um, but yeah, eventually your stuff is returned to you, and they open the front doors of the place, and the clerk that's been kind of assisting you throughout this and says, "Well, certainly has been an interesting day, hasn't it? I hope life finds you well. Hope life finds us all well. Seems there may be dark times ahead."
Yes, it does indeed. I believe we will be well now that we have been proven innocent in the eyes of the court. I say that very loudly to like everybody around.
You get kind of some like odd looks, like people are in like their little groups having conversations, and like you say this kind of very projected and loudly, and you see like a few people kind of like pause mid sentence and kind of look at you a little strangely, and then like go back to their conversations. So you guys are now standing. Let me give you a map here. So Pierdron's palace is, uh, if it loaded you up in the right spot, it's the kind of building with the wall around it, right at the base of the mountain where the griffin statue is. So you guys are currently in this part of town, and it's probably about midday. They started up the court proceedings, at a decently early in the morning, and went for a few hours there with the questioning and then the witnesses and everything that happened. So probably about lunchtime right now, and you guys are once again free to move about the city. What do you guys get up to? You have all the stuff, of course, that you got from the Grahans and that whole situation, and you know, some guy just got killed on the stand. What piques your interests?
Hey guys, I'm hungry. I'm out of pocket peanuts. You want to go get lunch?
Yeah, I could do with some stuff. That prison food I've been eating for so long is just terrible. You wouldn't know. I feel like I haven't had anything worth eating in years.
You should learn to carry pocket snacks.
I'm working on that. Maybe we should get a bag of holding and we could carry a lot of pocket snacks.
Jinku's eyes get really, really big and excited.
I'm pretty sure if we were to get a bag of holding, Torta would just fill it with tarts.
Oh my god. Can you imagine?
That's not a bad thing, though. You're saying it like this should. I don't know. What do you think, Torta? We could get a torta bag or a tart bag of holding.
Torta is not there.
Oh, he isn't with us, is he?
Yeah, that's
No.
true. He was still. Where oh yeah, Torta was hiding out at Raynar's, wasn't he? Right.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right. Okay.
Yeah, because we told him not to go back to the inn, or he would get arrested.
That's true.
Well, after having talked to him and him not being there, as I look around, I'll kind of look a little surprised and say, "Oh, where is Torta? We should."
all that time in prison has really just messed with your
It's hard.
mind.
It was hard time. You don't even know. You don't
Except
even
when we're
know
all there
now.
with you.
Don't even know. Okay.
Anyways, so lunch?
Yeah. So, roll a kind of perception check for me as you guys are kind of looking around the plaza out here around Pier Drones. Okay. So, Jinku, you kind of take a look around the area here, and you see, there's kind of this kind of large open area around the courthouse here. Like there's kind of two main streets that kind of meet at a corner out front. There's kind of a built gazebo of sorts on the southern part of this plaza. Is kind of this ornate stone structure, kind of in the center there, and there's various carts and vendors around doing their usual things, and you see a few little food cart type places, but you also see um, in like one of the buildings kind of along the edge of the road, um, you kind of get a scent of um, seasoned meats kind of wafting on the air from a restaurant that you see has the name White Hammers up on the sign.
There. And she'll start walking towards it.
Okay. All right. So you um, head over in the direction of this White Hammers restaurant here, and as you're getting close, you can see that there's some kind of smaller signs in the windows here, talking about White Hammers, golden nuggets, delectable and healthy. And you can see that there's another sign that says like now with locations in Waterdeep, Baldur's Gate, and Neverwinter. And you can see that there's kind of a throng of like quite a fair bit of like dwarves that are hanging out around this place, and you can see them, various of them kind of munching on what look like small meat nuggets of some kind, and seem to be enjoying themselves quite a bit. And there's a little bit of a line coming out the door as well. It seems this place is pretty popular.
Well, guys, you want to eat here?
And about this time that she says you want to eat here, you hear Torta on the little stone, whoever has it. Hey, are you guys free yet? Is anybody there? And he's yelling at the top of his lungs.
Well, wouldn't Zayara be the only one to hear
Yeah,
it?
Zara, you'd hear this shouting in your ears with Torta's voice. How do you react to that message coming through into your head?
I think back to him. Uh, we just got acquitted, but someone died on the witness stand. It was a bit of a mess.
He screams back, I didn't do it. It wasn't me.
Everyone seems to want to get lunch, but unfortunately they picked the one place I can't eat at.
They have tarts?
No,
I'm not coming.
I'd rather eat tarts.
I'll send one last message that I'm going back to Troll Skull.
Okay. All right. So, Torta, you start making your way over to Troll Skull, and the rest of you are kind of standing outside near the line heading into this White Hammers location.
Does Zyara see anywhere that sells tarts?
Let's see. Not in the immediate vicinity, no.
Rip.
Rip.
Is it a long line? Long,
Uh,
okay.
it's a line. It's a line of about uh, there's maybe about 7 or 8 people in front of you, but it seems to go through pretty fast. It seems like they're able to get the orders out in pretty short order. It seems. You're kind of surprised. You've never seen a restaurant be able to kind of pump out food at such a rate. Especially food, especially food that seems to be this good. Like you can hear like some of these, dwarves at the table nearby, like commenting about how guilt-hoking delicious these golden nuggets are.
Golden nuggets, huh?
Golden
All
nuggets.
right. Well, I'm not so sure about this, but if Jinku wants to try it, I'll try it with her.
She's not so sure either. She likes normal food.
Well, let's see what these dwarves are all about then, and get a bunch of them. Maybe we can poison some and give them to mix. I mean, leave them out for so to throw away.
Okay. So you managed to get into line here at White Hammers, and eventually make your way uh, inside the restaurant proper. And you see that there's a menu up on the wall with a few different items. It seems these golden nuggets are their specialty. They have, looks like golden nuggets with potatoes, golden nuggets with special sauce, salad, and then a variety of drinks. And all of these are about, either 2 or 3 copper pieces each.
Well, Jinku will order the ones with potatoes, and she'll get a salad to bring back to Zyara.
Okay. All right.
Ooh, what do you want? It's on me.
Special sauce.
Special sauce. Okay. All right. And how about you, Jinku? Oh wait, you got the gold nuggets and then the salad for. That's right. All right. All right. So with all of that together, that will be 15 copper pieces. The kind of jovial. There's a halfling behind the counter, and he, jovially kind of tells you the price here and holds out his hand.
I'll give it to him.
All right. So you hand your 15 copper pieces over, and this, halfling kind of goes back through the door into the kitchen for a moment, and then comes back out with a kind of a small bag and hands it over to you. And you can see inside that there seems to be a kind of container containing some salad, and then a few kind of small pouches with these nuggets inside them, kind of steaming out the top, and there's also a small little container of some sort of sauce with one of them.
All right. Well, I'll gesture to Boo to come back outside, and we'll go back to Zyara.
That seemed suspiciously fast.
I brought you a salad.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, let's try these gold things.
Okay. Are you just eating these as you kind of go along?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you are kind of walking along the streets here, heading back towards Troll School here, and snacking on these gold nuggets from White Hammers, and you are like astounded at how delicious these are. Like they almost seem to melt in your mouth. And the flavor, they have this like nice seasoning on them. Boo, the ones with the special sauce that you got, the sauce is a bit of it's got like a nice little bit of a kick to it almost. You're pretty impressed.
Are there any tart places that we pass by?
Yeah, I'd say you. Like it's a bit of a ways across the city to where Troll School's at. So yeah, you'd probably pass a bakery of some kind somewhere along the way.
How about
Okay.
a peanut vendor?
Yeah, there'd likely be nut vendors and that goes kind of along the streets as well. The nut vendor is probably selling kind of small sacks of nuts for probably 2 copper pieces each, and for the tarts, those as well, like single tarts are probably going for 2 coppers each, and then a set of them for um, probably 15 for a dozen.
Zyra's gonna buy 2 dozen.
Okay. All right.
Jinku will get 3 bags of nuts.
Okay. All right. So you've got your nuts. Zara, you've got kind of 2 boxes containing an assortment of various filled tarts. And you continue on your way back to Troll Skull. And when you make it there, you find like it's still kind of early afternoon, so like the usual evening business hasn't really kicked into gear yet around here. Um, but you find Torta kind of sitting on like a barrel near the kind of the back door of the place. Um, he didn't have the keys to get in to the upstairs. He didn't have a copy, and the guard that was here, they locked up pretty well after they had been called off that you guys were acquitted. So they kind of left and kind of locked up the place to make sure nothing happened to it. But unfortunately, left Torta locked out, sitting on the street.
Um,
Sorry about that, buddy.
Oh, you're good. You're good. I had a nice sleepover with Raynard.
I guess Zyara is probably gonna go upstairs
Okay.
and tell Torta she brought tarts.
I thought I smelled tarts. Torta will follow.
Yeah,
Wherever
Jinku's
the
gonna go
tarts go.
upstairs too.
Where are the kids?
Probably upstairs.
Yeah, so you all head inside to the upstairs part of Troll Skull, and you find the kids kind of amusing themselves in the kind of main central room of the place. They kind of look up as you come in, and Jenks kind of excited. He says, "You're back!"
Yes, we are. I apologize that we had to take care of that business, but we won. Screw the man.
Yeah, screw the man. Who's the man?
The guards.
Oh. Yeah, they're mean.
Nobody
Uh,
hurt you guys or anything? You all okay?
Yeah, we're fine. Guards are just mean in general.
Zaire is gonna give Torta a box of the torts, so a dozen of them, and then she's going to split the other dozen between her and the kids.
All right.
You've never seen Torta smile so big and disappear. Like you're like, here's the box, and he's like, whoosh.
All right. So would you say for like the rest of this day, would you guys probably be around here at the manor, chilling with the kids, or is there anything that you're wanting to go do now that you guys are out of the joint?
Yeah, Jinku's gonna stick at home with the kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
don't think I have anything I need to do.
I
I
mean,
just want to relax and
honestly, it wouldn't be a
freedom.
bad idea for us to stay and just kind of
We need
mull
to have some
over what
family
happened.
time. Yeah, yeah, and just chill for a little bit.
Okay. All right. So you all kind of rest around the upstairs part of the manor, kind of recuperating after your recent adventures here. Jinku and Boo, could I have both of you roll a Constitution saving throw? Okay. All right. So, eventually, you all decide to go off to sleep, and see if I remember correctly, the stone that you guys got from the Gralhan place, Boo, you had that right, or it was like hidden, like you hid it somewhere, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
it's in
we
my
hit
room.
like everything.
It's in my
bef-
room, and I have a glyph of warding on my door.
That's right. That's right. To keep mix out. Okay. So, during the night, Boo, your sleep is a little bit restless, and as you're sleeping here, you kind of find yourself in a dream of sorts, and you seem to be kind of floating through this kind of vast uh, void of sorts. Like there's kind of some like little bits of kind of pinpoints of stars in the distance, but it's kind of this just vast expanse, and you can see. Um, it's hard to kind of gauge the distance in a place like this. It's says there's not really any point of reference that you can kind of gauge that distance off of, but as you're floating around, as you're kind of floating through this, you kind of feel a presence of some kind from behind you, and you turn, and kind of looming, like almost taking up like all of your sight, is this kind of massive form, and like there isn't really any like light, like any like main light source of sorts in here. There's just kind of this kind of general kind of ambient dimness, and so you can't really make out what exactly it is. But it seems like it's this. You can kind of see the shadowy shape of this kind of immense form, uh, kind of maybe kind of like an eel or like a um, like an eel or some kind of like large snake almost. It's difficult to tell with the low light, but it's massive, absolutely massive. And you can see that it has these, like you can kind of see the shadowy outlines of like fins, or it look like fins of some kind up along its back ridge, and um, kind of halfway down the shadowy shape, like the form of it seems to kind of split into several different, I guess, almost tentacles or tails of sorts, as it goes down this immense form, and it just kind of like it just kind of floats there in front of you, and um, like ominously, and like you can't really get a good read on it, but it gives you kind of a very chilling effect to your core, like you've never experienced or like felt a presence like this before. It almost feels um, like unknowable and ancient, and um, and you're left feeling somewhat in awe and confused at the same time. You almost kind of feel a bit of a maybe an ache or kind of a migraine in your head a little bit. Like nothing else along with that, but there's just kind of this weird ache in your head, and eventually you wake up and you find yourself in your bedroom, and there's still like a little bit of this kind of lingering ache in your head, and it's kind of probably the early morning at this point. When you woke up, you probably were dreaming, tossing and turning, and this is probably like maybe 3:30 in the morning right now, um, and you kind of wake up with this, maybe a little bit of cold sweat.
That's weird. I wonder. Hmm, it's really unnerving. Like Boo's kind of confused and frustrated that he doesn't know how to combat something like that.
Okay. So you
It's
try.
like,
Yeah, go ahead.
go, oh, it's like morning time, or is it
Yeah, I mean it's
early morning?
it's like 3:30, maybe 4 in the morning or so. So like you can try to get back to sleep, but if you want to be up and do something, you can, of course.
I can go check my wards and then recast my alarm wards and then go back to sleep.
Okay. So you kind of go around checking on your wards and your alarm wards and stuff, and they are all still in place just fine. Like they haven't been disturbed. Nothing has been opened of any kind. Everything is just the way that you left it when you fell asleep.
All right, I guess I'll go back to sleep and see if I can anyway.
Okay. So you kind of manage to nod off to sleep after a little while. You kind of lay there for a bit, kind of forcing your eyes shut, hoping it just kind of takes, and eventually it does. And you manage to get at least some sleep before morning properly comes, and the rest of you start waking up and moving about in the place. So the morning comes. Uh, you're now all awake. What do you get up to?
Well, I'll go work on breakfast.
Okay. There's probably still a few tarts left over from the night before that you guys can snack on, along with whatever else you make down in the kitchen. Jinku and Boo, you two roll another Constitution check for me, or saving throw for me. Okay. kind of notice as like you're kind of going around in the morning trying to get things ready for breakfast. Um, one of your toes feels very stiff.
Oh damn it! I got the gout. I just know I got the gout.
Are we gonna walk into the kitchen to you trying to cut your own toes off?
He's got his toe knife down there.
Oh God!
Do you investigate your toe at all, or are you just kind of resigned to your fate?
Yeah, no. Like I'm like cooking breakfast, right? So there's like eggs, and Sarah walks in like there's like eggs, and I've got the tarts laid out, and then like my foot is on the counter, and I'm just like looking at my toe, and I'm like, what is going on with you? Why won't you work? Um, yeah. Is it like swollen or anything? Is it just stiff?
So you roll an investigation check for me as you investigate your own feet.
Good at
Like a baby.
investigation.
You are good at investigating
Check
your own
it
feet.
out.
Very nice.
Check it out. I know that foot like the back of my hand.
So you're kind of like leaning in as close as you can, and like you notice that like your toe, it doesn't like it's not swollen, same size as it always is, um, but it seems to have kind of a grayish hue to it, um, and you kind of tap on it a bit, and like you just like don't feel anything in that toe, um, and the sound that you get back from it uh, kind of sounds like a rock.
Toe haunted.
Uh, Sarah, Sarah.
Yes.
Oh,
Zyara
oh,
says really skeptically.
oh. Hey, look at this. And I'll like poke it with a knife a little bit.
I feel like I need to ask the last time you washed your feet.
I bathe regularly, very regularly. I'm very clean.
Uh, as you poke your toe with a knife, a small little piece, maybe like half a millimeter, like very, very tiny little piece, chips off of it.
Um, Sarah, I'm pretty certain it wasn't supposed to do that. Can you help me here, please? I'm kind
What's
of
wrong with your
scared.
toe, man?
I'm not sure what exactly is wrong with it to begin with.
Well, you could check it out if you want to.
Yeah, I guess she'll check out Boo's toe.
All
Look
right.
at it. But like,
Look at it!
don't like look at her or anything. I'm not gonna touch
Behold!
it. Just look at it.
This is one of
Sarah,
the strangest questions we've ever had.
Sarah, go ahead and roll a medicine check for me. Okay. So you're kind of getting in here, looking at Boo's toe, and from your observations, at least, it seems to you like his toe has been petrified.
Does it still like look like a toe? Like in terms of color, or is it like gray like a rock?
It's gray like a rock.
Okay. Um, at least from what I can tell, it looks like your toe has turned to stone, and I can only assume that the rest of your foot is to follow if we don't uh figure out a cure.
Wasn't that what you do? You're a cleric. Cure it. Make it. I don't want to turn. Wait. Could we let it go up a little ways and then like stop it?
Like,
Uh,
what do you mean?
the longer you let whatever is in your system sit in your system, the more likely it is that you're going to, turn completely to stone. Not to mention, you'll lose all feeling and motion in your foot, most likely.
Oh, okay. Well, can you like make it stop? Please?
I can try.
Do an Arcana check for me, Zara. Okay. So from what you know of your studies of clerical ways and healing and that sort of things, you know that petrification, in terms of spells, doesn't have a whole lot of options. The two main ways to cure petrification that you are aware of are using the Greater Restoration spell, which you do not know, and a Wish spell, which you definitely do not know.
Okay.
It's a little above your skill level at the moment.
Yeah. Um, we could try and find some sort of potion that could slow it, but I feel like we may need to go to a temple to consult with a cleric who has studied longer than I have. I can heal your wounds, but I'm afraid I don't have the skills to heal something like this quite yet.
Well then, let's go. I don't want like my whole foot to fall off. My feet are like one of my most attractive features. Look at these things.
Whatever you say, Boo.
I'm like puffing furiously on my pipe now too. Like I'm wound up.
Perhaps we should have Jinku carry you so you don't hurt your foot any more than you have with that knife.
Yes, JQ, can you carry me to the temple, please?
Yeah, can I poke your toe first?
Okay, fine.
Poke it, and then she'll pick him up.
Just with your hand?
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, Jinku is pretty strong.
I think you meant what was I poking it with?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if he was like jabbing with a knife again or just, boop, or something like that. So you
Remember like you poke a cat's nose? That's basically what I did.
okay. So you pick up Boo, who still has this foot sticking out, and head out the front door, and like as like you aren't really, you're kind of backing out of the front door, like you're kind of holding Boo and you're kind of using your back to push the front door troll skull open, and as the door opens and you turn around to start going, you run almost face first into Mert, who seems to have been just walking up the front steps of your place here. You kind of bump into each other, and he kind of steps back a bit, and you can see he kind of dusts off his jacket here, and kind of adjusts his hat a little bit, and he kind of looks looks at you kind of quizzically, Jinku, standing here holding Boo, and he says, "Well, hope I'm not interrupting anything, am I?"
Toe.
My toe, look at it. It's turned into stone. Get out of the way. We need to get to a cleric.
Mert kind of leans in a bit, taking a look at your toe here. He actually lifts up his cane and kind of taps it a couple times with the end of his kind of walking stick cane that he's got here. He says, "Ah, yes, petrification. I would say it's not really too urgent of concern. It isn't something that usually spreads, uh, unless unless it's a curse of some kind. But I mean, surely it's not all that urgent. It's just a toe, after all. Goodness knows I've lost more than that over the years."
Yes, well, unfortunately, we don't know how this happened. He just woke up like this.
Hmm. Well, I guess I'll let you be on your way, but if you do, when you do come back, I have some news that may be of interest to you now that you're out and about. Word's been spreading around the city of the uh, things that went down over at the Growlhund place, and the demons and other strange goings on that have been happening around here recently. And I may have another job for you all if you are interested.
Surely, we're always interested in something to do. We'll have to get back to you. Or if you'd rather, another of our party, Torta, is still in the house. Perhaps you can talk to him.
Well, if you can pour me a drink, I'll be happy to stay.
Oh, I'm sure there's someone in there that can pour you a drink.
Sometimes nobody will pour you a drink, and
The
you still
ghost,
get a drink.
the ghosty will pour him a drink.
I like our ghost.
And Merc kind of chuckles at this and says, "Ah, yes, Liff, of course. He's not going anywhere. Well, I will await your return, and keep the seats warm for you, as it were."
Bye bye. And just to go start walking away.
All right. So you kind of step out of Trollsco Alley here onto the street, still holding Boom, and you kind of look left and right, up and down the street, and you realize that you aren't really sure where to go.
Would
Zayara,
Zyara
here's
not
the thing.
know?
Oh, yeah, Zara's with you guys. Zara, yeah, you would know of a place to go. Let me see where that would be. Dun, dun, dun,
I'm
dun.
like smacking her on the head. Like, why are you just standing here? My toe. Look, I think it's growing.
Don't tap my head.
I'm just scared, Jiku. I'm scared.
You need to calm down.
Zyara's gonna take out some sort of some sort of ink from her bag and mark where the stone is so Boo can stop freaking out.
Oh, just like kind of draw like a little like growth line.
Yeah, be like, no hitting Jinku unless the stone goes past that line.
Well, maybe don't hit me even then. Maybe just like pull on my ear. Peanut?
Pocket peanut?
Right.
How can
So
you eat peanuts at a time like this?
May
I'm
I
always
offer you
hungry.
an egg in this trying time?
well, there was some eggs for breakfast, so I mean, you did have some trying times eggs. So, Zara, you know that there is a house of healing, kind of right over near the big market square on kind of the northwestern part of town that you've been to many times before. And so you all kind of head your way over to that part of town and kind of the house feeling's kind of on one of the main streets. It's on the high road, the main drag that goes north and south through the city here. And you make your way inside. The cleric at the door, sees Zara walking up here with Boo in her arms, and she kind of looks you up and down and says, "Well, happy to help here at the House of Healing. What seems to be the trouble?"
My friend here woke up this morning with a petrified toe.
Hmm. Well, we can certainly help out with that if you have the fare, of course, to donate to our goddess. Uh, Strange, we've been seeing a fair number of these recently, but no trouble at all. No trouble at all. We'll be happy to clear that right up for you for a small fee of, let's see.
Quickly, it's getting to my lungs. I think it's getting hard to breathe. Huh?
Zyra reaches over and pinches Boo on the arm.
It's looks like it will be 300 GP for Greater Restoration cast.
Oh god. I don't think any of us have that money anymore.
I mean, I do, but it's gonna like make me broke.
I thought we advocated for universal healing in the last
Oh, I
council.
guess I do have that. I have like 500 GP.
What was
Where are
about?
you guys
What,
getting all your money?
I don't
I
know.
don't buy anything.
Yeah, I don't buy anything. That's you and Mix that are always buying crap.
I will also say I should also add some money into your guys' pockets from Troll Skull running. So let me toss.
I've got 40 gold and an eye stock, and I'll pull them out of my pocket.
Okay, we'll add that in there for some income from Troll Skull here. What was it you were saying about some council thing, Boo?
I was trying to convince her that we had advocated for universal healing at the last council meeting, and she hadn't been told yet.
Oh. And she kind of has like a light chuckle at that and says, "Well, we thank you for your support of the healing arts, of course, but we still do need to function here for now until something like that occurs."
So, can you guys loan me some money? I'm sorry to have to ask you this, but I have 142 gold pieces, and I need a loan of approximately 158 gold pieces in order to survive, because these religious people are.
I will loan it to you.
Thank you, Jinko. Thank you. And then I'll immediately turn and give it to this priestess, and then go back to. Okay, quickly now. Oh, it's hard to breathe. Oh, I think I can't feel my whole leg.
As you're kind of protesting this cleric that's helping you, her face is just kind of expressionless at your theatrics. And she eventually casts this greater restoration spell on you, and in a matter of seconds, you kind of feel the feeling returning to your toe, and you're able to wiggle it about uh, in the manner that toes are usually wiggled about. And she says, "Well, there you go. Looks like it's all better now. Mind you, stay out of wherever you got that from."
We're not entirely sure where he got it from.
I'll point at my tattoo, and I'll stand on it now. and I'll say I got it in prison. I've done time.
Out of curiosity, what are the other kinds of patients you've gotten with similar symptoms?
Well, I can't speak to any specifics, of course. Medicine and all. You have to protect their privacy, but we've seen cases like this, little appendages turning to stone, and in a few cases of people, there've been whole limbs that have turned to stone as well.
Zyara is just thinking to herself, I don't suppose a lot of them have been dwarves, have they?
And the cleric kind of thinks for a moment, says, Yes, yes, in fact, they have been kind of an odd number of dwarves that this has been afflicting. Perhaps it's some sort of curse on the small or something like that. She kind of looks at Boo. You haven't angered any tall people against, well, people of your stature recently, have you?
You know, now that I'm thinking about it, weren't there an awful lot of dwarves eating at that golden nugget place that you two ate at?
Yeah, there was.
Whoa, that stuff was delicious, though.
Yes, but they also were shelling it out pretty quickly, abnormally quickly, almost as if they were using some sort of magic.
Why am I okay and who's not? I ate it too.
Perhaps it's like the healer is saying, your size made it so it was harder to inflict you with whatever curse they put on them or whatever potion they doused those nuggets in.
But why would you do that to short people? We're the best.
Maybe they were just doing it to people that eat meat.
She says smugly.
Sayara, I think you might just be grasping at straws on that one.
I mean, maybe I am, but a restaurant that's selling predominantly to dwarves, putting out hot meals in a matter of seconds, where they won't really discuss what it is in the nuggets, and there's a rash of dwarves being inflicted with petrification. Am I really that off base?
I'm sure they would tell us. We never asked what was in them. They're golden nuggets.
Why would you not want to know what is in your food?
I was hungry.
It tasted
Yeah.
like chicken to you.
Let's go get some more and we can ask them. They'll tell us.
Or we could not get more but still ask them.
Yeah. I'll get you a salad. Come on, let's go take a look at this. And I'll prove to you that this is the best place. I bet you, it's a meat substitute and you can eat them.
I'd rather not.
All right. So, do you guys, do you guys head back over to White Hammers?
I guess, because they're just bound determined to prove me wrong that these nuggets are magic and not the bad kind.
Yes, and Jinku's gonna ask Boo if he wants to ride on her shoulder.
Well, I would gladly ride on Jinku.
Okay.
And all the while, I'm telling Torta how great these nuggets are.
Torto's not
I
with us.
freaking love nuggets.
Tortoise back
Yeah,
at
he
the
can-
Why
house.
are you always talking to Torto when he's not with us?
I need more sleep.
Yeah,
I was
Tortoise,
thinking
Tortoise
this
hanging out
way.
with Mert. Which, so while you guys are traveling across the city down
While
to,
we're fighting in the middle of the street.
so Torta, you're back at the Troll Skull, and kind of cajoling it up with Mert on the first floor here. He's had a drink or two at the hands of Lift, your poltergeist bartender, and he's been talking to you about his adventures, and he's been also just kind of interested in your kind of story toward him as a grung, and he's like, so it's been quite a while since I've seen a grung around. What brings you out so far?
The hatred for my kind.
Oh, well then, what did they do to you, friend?
I am a open-minded grung. I don't want to be constricted by laws and rules like they are. They laughed when I wanted to open a tart bakery.
Ah, a lover of the creative arts. Yes, I can see why that would not go over too well with the grung. Well, I trust Waterdeep has treated you well. It doesn't really seem like a place easy to make a home in for one such as yourself.
I've made good friends and good acquaintances. Very
Well,
fine here.
well, that is good to hear. Well, I best tell you a little bit about the reason I came here in the first place today. So, with the trial that you all managed to make your way through the other day, which, of course, good on all of you for managing to bring that to light, especially with the taking out Urstel Floxton from the Zentrum. He's been one that many here in the city have been after for a while. The city guard hasn't been too much use on that front. But, as you've likely seen, there's been quite a few clashing groups here in Waterdeep as of late. The Zentarim, the Xanathars, this business now with these demon worshippers that's come up as well. And there has been something with the Xanathars Guild that is becoming a little bit of a problem that I think adventurers such as yourself may be able to give us a hand with. Uh, there's been some reports and instances that we've found of key city members in high positions, whether that in like the city government or in some of the more well respected guilds of the city, that we have found been controlled uh, by some sort of psionic force. In one instance, we did manage to catch the culprit of sorts. You may have seen them before. A strange creature, an intellect devourer, they are called. Uh, there seems to be some sort of underlying purpose, some hand guiding these intellect devourers to control the minds of certain key city officials for some reason. It's becoming a bit of an issue. They've been managing to spread a little bit faster than we're able to control them, you see. And I believe that they are coming from someone within the Xanathar Guild. Now, I have had contact with the Xanathar before, as a Lord of Waterdeep. Xanathar's a well-known force of sorts in the underbelly of the city, and I know a little bit about his ways and means, and I believe there is a a mind flayer he was working with that I think may be creating these creatures and distributing them throughout the city. Now, I'm a little too up in my years to be able to go up against a mind flayer and whatever else he may have down there these days, but if you are interested, of course, I'd be able to pay well, and of course the city would appreciate your services, as well as the Harpers, of course.
Sort of leans back in the chair, breaks out 2 tarts, and then you see this little bag unfold, and it's got some crystallized flies on it. Sprinkles them over, passes one to Mert. So, are we going to be rewarded for bringing these demonic worshippers? Like, is the city gonna do something for us?
Well, the Xanathars aren't demon worshippers. The demon worshippers are kind of a whole other problem entirely that's cropped up out of the woodwork. Xanathars are a gang, one of the kind of main underworld gangs that kind of rides through the seedy underbelly of the city with their various criminal activities and trades that they participate in. But to what end they've been, you know, trying to take over some of the city officials, it seems. Maybe Xanathar is getting a little bored of things down below in the sewers in his lair. Maybe he's trying to look for something a little greater, perhaps. He always did have delusions of grandeur from time to time. But in any case, I mean, certainly if you deal with any demon worship activity that comes up as well, the city would be more than happy to compensate you for any work you do there. But in this case, we'll be happy to offer some gold. In addition, we have some uh, valuable potions that we may be able to offer you as payment for this as well.
I will relay this to the group as we're individuals. I can't speak for everybody, but I'm interested. I like a good fight.
Good, good. I like a good fight as well. It's been a while since I had one, of course, but uh, those were the days. And he, takes another swig of his drink here and takes a bite out of the tart that you hand him here, and he kind of goes, an interesting topping, but I can't say that it's the worst I've had.
It's one of my favorites.
I imagine so, my friend. Well, I've taken up enough of your time today. I will have other business to attend to in the city, of course. Busy man, busy man. Not so much with the adventuring these days, but of course the affairs of the city are an adventure in their own. So he kind of stands up and taps his walking stick a few times on the ground, and kind of with a bit of a flourish, heads out the front door of Troll Skull.
I'll kind of come to the door and be like, the team knows where to find you, right? Because I don't.
Well, even if they don't, I know where you all are, and I will always happy to stop in for a drink at my favorite locations.
Right. We will, I'll let them know and we'll try to get in contact with you as soon as possible.
Right. Fantastic. Oh, and of course, and he kind of digs into a pocket here, and he flips you 2 silver pieces for the drinks and the tarts. A little bit more, of course, but than what they're worth, of course. But no matter. We'll see you around.
Farewell and safe travels.
All right, and Mert heads off. All right, so at this point, I think this will be a good spot to take our quick little bio break here for a few minutes. So we'll go ahead, stand up, stretch your legs, get a drink, and we'll be back here in a few to continue.
Awesome. All right.
So the rest of you have been, heading south, pretty much straight down the high road. Goes right past the main market and also goes right back down where you were before. And you make your way down to Whitehammers, and again, still fairly busy place. About the middle of the day, lunchtime. A lot of dwarves and other people kind of sitting around nearby. Fair kind of line out the door like there was before. What do you get up to here?
Well, Jinku, I am healed miraculously, as I knew I would be all along if I had complete faith. Are we getting these meat nuggets or what?
I mean, I wouldn't say no to some more. They were pretty delicious.
All right. So you head over and get in line.
Yeah, I'm in good line.
Okay. So you get in line with the rest of the people here, and again you're kind of your mouth's watering at the anticipation of these golden nuggets, and the fresh kick of that special sauce that came along with them here, and you get inside, order up. Oh, hold on a second. Where is this?
No,
Oh,
I'm not
I gotta.
gonna eat these right away, by the way. And I'm gonna ask at the ordering thing. I'm gonna ask them for an ingredients list.
Okay, 1 second. I gotta log Riz out down here so she can log in up there. Yeah. Okay. All right. Oh my god. Oh, you guys didn't see this, but Riz, Riz, Riz messaged me to log her out of Fantasy Grounds down here so she can log in upstairs. And I was typing back to her to say done, and mistyped it as dong.
Freudian slip.
Fantastic.
Man, you'd think you were the one smoking. Jeez,
All right.
I like it. That's it. Who doesn't love a dong joke?
Right?
All right, so you're in line. You get inside Hammers here, up to the counter. You place your order like you did before. Was just doing the same thing as last time. Salad for Zare and the nuggets.
Yeah, but I asked for an ingredients list.
I
Okay.
want special sauce this time.
Oh, okay. You want special sauce this time. Okay, so this time comes out to 18 copper pieces. Actually, wait, no, that one's. Wait, hold on. Oh no, special sauce is the same. So still 15. Still 15 copper pieces.
I'll pay for it.
That's right, you will. You owe me money.
All right, and you're kind of asking the kind of smiling halfling behind the counter here, sir, about the ingredients list here. And he says, "Why these are delicious golden nuggets are made with the tenderest chicken bits." And he kind of smiles after he tells you this. And he says, "Well, please move along, sir. There's people waiting here in line."
Okay, I'll move on. Well, is inside a thing in this? Can I roll insight?
It is what?
Nick, I want to know if he's lying. Can I tell if he's lying?
Oh, okay. Go ahead and roll an insight check here. There we go. Okay. So you're kind of looking this kind of smiling, kind of young halfling up and down here. Um, you don't, you don't sense any ill will or lying about him. Tender Chicken Bits seems to be what he knows they're made of.
Okay, fine by me then. Let's
Yeah,
go,
right.
Jinku.
Fine. Let's go eat.
All right. So you step back out of White Hammers here, and there's the various kind of tables nearby that some various dwarves are eating at here, and of course, being this a large plaza here, there's various places to sit around here if you wanted to eat here, of course, or you could take it back to Troll Skull or eat along the way like you did last time.
Let's eat here.
Okay.
All right. So you kind of find a nice place to sit around here in the plaza. People are kind of passing by. It's middle of the day, outside a city government building, so there's a fair number of people around. And you tear into these golden nuggets. Still, just absolutely delicious. Like the breading on them is wonderfully crispy, and the sauce still has that nice kick to it, and you just can't get enough of that melt in your mouth feeling of these golden nuggets. They just go down smooth as butter, and you're left feeling quite satisfied.
I don't know if the hair is freaking out. I think that's delicious. Hey, where'd she go, by the way?
I don't know. I keep talking to Tort and he's not around, so I've just been shutting up. I mean,
Oh wait, I just realized you don't have a headset up there. Do you want me to bring the other extra headset up there so you can talk? Here, 1 sec. Let me go bring her this other headset so she can actually talk, hear us, but I don't think she can.
So she can yell at us in the delicious golden bits.
1 second. Okay. All right. She's got her headset on. Her headset set up here. I think both of the cats, Jack, are up with Riz, so she can give them their pets. Okay. Riz, is your mic working now?
I think so.
Yeah, there you
Hey.
are. So, so Boo and Jinko are tearing into these delicious golden nuggets here. You have your salad. What are you doing?
I'm also
Is
listening to
still
see if
skeptical.
yeah, like I'm kind of skeptical. I understand, but I also really like these things. So I am listening to try and see if I hear anybody talking about any, petrification. I mean, if my toe got petrified, I'd probably be telling people about it while I was eating my nuggets. In fact, I am.
I was
I'll
gonna
tell
say you're
people
still making
about it.
petrified.
I'll turn and I'll tell I want to tell the nearest dwarf or whatever the story about my toe.
Okay. Roll a Roll a perception check for me. Okay. So you kind of turn to a nearby dwarf at the table here, or kind of a nearby table here, and you see he's actually got like a couple boxes of these things, or like a couple of the cartons of these things. He had like ordered a few of them, and he's been kind of munching through them here, kind of happily to himself. And you notice that his uh, he seems to be only eating them with his right hand. And you kind of, or like, it's like, what are you saying to this guy as you kind of turn around?
Oh, like be in these, and I'll be like, these are pretty delicious, huh?
And he kind of looks up, his kind of mouth half full of one of these right now. There's like a little bit of the sauce, kind of in his beard on one side. There's a couple kind of drops that kind of went into him there. He's like, oh, yes, these are so guilt hogging delicious. I can't get enough of them. I don't know how they do it, but oh, and for the price, goodness me. It's no wonder they've spread through some of the other cities in the land.
Right? Man, they're pretty great. I would have came here sooner and got some because, like, I wanted some for breakfast. But crazy thing, I had this whole nightmare last night. I couldn't sleep. And then I woke up in the morning and my god's damn toe turned to stone. Would you believe that shit?
And he kind of looks at you there for a second. He's like, well, I have to, I have to believe it, there, friend. And he kind of turns to you, and you see him kind of like pull back the sleeve, like on his left arm here, and he says, I've been running into the same thing. Perhaps there's something going around. You can
Oh,
you can see that, like, kind of like his hand and like the lower part of his left arm is kind of that grayish color that you had on your toe this morning.
Jinku, like, very briefly, like, stops eating, thinks about it, and then just starts eating again.
All right. And he kind of pulls his sleeve back down and he says, he kind of looks you over and he says, yes, a lot of had quite a few friends that have run into this as well. Perhaps some sort of curse on us small folk or something like that. But bah, I've I've had worse. Down in the caves and on my travels throughout life. I mean, at least from what I've seen, it seems to go away after a day.
oh, it does?
And
Shit.
he kind of says, "Yeah, I I came here last. Found out about this place from a friend of mine last week, and came over and had some, and by God, they changed my life. And the next day, I woke up and I had part of my leg was feeling a bit stiff, which I thought was odd, and but I managed to go about my business all right. But by the next day, it seemed to have gone away. I mean, the last 2 days or so, I've managed to get over here and have lunch here both those days, and my arm here hasn't gone down yet. In fact, it's only kind of gone up a little bit more, I guess. But maybe if I lay off for a day," and he kind of looks kind of sadly the uh, at the restaurant there. He says, maybe, uh, maybe it'll go back, but what's for food like this? What's the point, right?
Okay, I'm not eating anymore. My food.
Zai is just making a really pointed look at Boo.
Jacob, are you still eating your
I'll actually lean over to Boo and say, are you going to finish that?
Jinku, I don't think we should eat this. You might turn to stone, and you're already gray. How are we going to tell if you turned to stone, Jinku? Oh no.
Zaire is going to confiscate what Boo didn't eat as potential investigation in case they need to analyze what's in the nuggets.
Jinku's gonna like look down at what's left in her hand and look at Zyara and look back down and look at Zyara.
Jinku? No.
It's too late. She's already going to eat them.
I'm gonna like shove the last of it in my mouth as quick as I can.
Niku shoves these in and almost kind of ferociously, uh, you know, chews this. You know, there are probably like maybe 3 or 4 nuggets left, and your mouth's kind of full. Like you almost can't quite, uh, chew with your mouth fully closed. With them there, so there's maybe little bits that are kind of spraying out a little bit from time to time. Here, as you're chewing on these fiercely, um, and you gulp them down.
Like, tell a dog to stop eating something it's not supposed to be eating, so then it just starts eating it faster.
Exactly that.
Yep, that's Jinku.
Exactly that.
Nobody said she's smart.
All right. So you managed to, finish your lunch there. Your salad was all right. Like their salads are okay. Um, they're obviously not the star of the show. There, it seems they just kind of added those on as an afterthought.
Like getting a salad from McDonald's. It's fine, but you can tell that's not what they're there for.
Exactly. Exactly. So, uh, what do you guys go from here now that you've kind of sated your appetites somewhat for the time being?
Well, so there's that. We figured this out. I don't know what to do about it. Let's go back and I need a drink. I think.
Hey,
Man.
Boo.
Mix would come out of his laboratory, he could probably tell us what's in these things.
Yeah. Hey, Boo. Will you buy me some peanuts?
Yeah, I guess I'll buy you some peanuts. From this place, though? No,
No.
this.
They don't have peanuts
Oh.
here.
Okay. Because I don't want anything
Oh
from
my
here.
god, can you imagine peanuts from here?
I'm gonna give my food to this guy, and then I'll go get peanuts for her.
Well, Zara had she kind of confiscated those last couple nuggets
Oh,
that you
okay.
had, Boo. She's got them. She like stuffed them in like a pouch or something somewhere.
Well, give like some of them to this dude. He's hungry, and he obviously can't afford to get his hand fixed.
Zara, you look over, and this guy is like this dwarf that Boo was talking to is like getting to the bottom of like his 3rd carton of these.
Care and just starts walking in the direction of home.
Okay.
All right. So you head back across the city here and make it back to Troll Skull and find Torta here inside. The kids are down here on the 1st floor. They're all kind of amusing themselves here, and you walk in the door.
You guys been doing your schoolwork?
And Swidley kind of looks up at you, and he has like a little bit of a kind of a bored look on his face. That he says, "Yeah, we have."
Okay. Are you winning, son?
Well, winning at what?
Or
Not
whatever
really.
the hell you're doing. What are you guys doing? You just twiddling your thumbs? That's what we used to do when I was a kid.
Yeah, we do that sometimes. Sometimes it's just fun to watch people out the window as they go by.
Okay. Well, you have fun then. Have you seen Torta?
And he says, "Yeah, Torto was talking to the big man who came by, with the cane and the hat and the cape. But I think he might be back in the kitchen."
I think Torta's pretty good, all right. So I think you guys can trust him, but you gotta be careful with everybody. But just so you know, you're pretty safe around him, okay?
Yeah, he's a nice guy. He gave us a tart.
If he's ever not nice, you let me know.
Okay, we'll do. And he kind of happily goes back to peering out the window here at some of the passerby going by on the street.
Goose sits down next to him and offers him some peanuts.
He
And
happily takes some of them.
and then we'll just sit and watch people and eat peanuts with the kids.
All right, so you two sit over there by the window, being the peanut gallery, and the rest of you head back around the bar into the kitchen, where you find Torta in there, kind of busying himself a little, maybe tidying up a little bit around the kitchen here.
Can y'all hear me?
Now we
Oh,
can. Yep.
there we go. Oh, what were you doing, Torta? If you were talking.
I didn't do anything. I don't know why it just started working.
Oh, weird.
Oh, I came out of the door. I came out of the kitchen once Boo was saying, "You better be nice or else."
Oh, okay. All right. So
I,
yeah, so Torta's standing right there.
I'm gonna go over to Boo with the hunger hand and just kind of touch it right against him.
Okay. What was the saving throw for the hunger hand?
12.
12.
Um,
Constitution.
yeah.
All right.
Oh, you bastard.
Roll a con for me, Boo. All right, you're good.
And he just croaks and smiles at him.
So have we introduced you to the children, Torta?
No, I haven't. I haven't met anybody besides y'all.
So these are basically our kids. We adopted them. They helped us out, and now we're helping them out. And I don't know. I really like them. They're a pretty good group of kids, but I look at them as my kids. So don't fuck with them, and we won't have a problem. But that goes for everybody. I think you can understand. Anyway, here they are. I forget your names, children. What are your names?
Very loud croak escapes Torta.
Think of them as my own, but I don't know their names.
Child 1, 2.
Like I mean, Boo's ditzy, man. He's very intelligent, but like that kind of stuff, those kind of details aren't. Their names don't do any magic for him, and so he doesn't keep track of it. I do have their names somewhere though.
So the slightly taller younger girl, she kind of pipes up that her name is Nat. And then there's kind of the shorter, tubby boy. He is Jenks. And then there is the young tiefling boy who is Squidly. And I have an image here somewhere. Let me bring those up again.
His parents didn't like him at all.
One of them is my favorite.
Shit. Don't you dare.
Here we are. Here they are. The childs. Nat, Jinx, and Squidly.
Squidly was the one that got kidnapped, right?
Squidly was the one that got kidnapped, and when there was the fireball explosion, Jinx was the one that got kind of caught in that a little bit. Got like
Squidly
knocked.
doing all right. I imagine getting kidnapped is traumatizing. How you doing, Squidly? You doing all right?
Squidly kind of looks at you here, and he's like, "Yeah, yeah, I'm doing all right. I mean, you take good care of us, and I know you mean well, and I feel safe around here. Even though we did get kidnapped the one time, but that's not your fault. Uh, but it's been good. It's been good. I mean, we lived out in the streets for years before this, so we've certainly seen some worse things, but uh, it's good here."
Okay, cool. Well, make sure you don't get kidnapped again. I imagine it's not very fun, kiddo.
No, not really. They tie you up, and that's not fun.
So, what did Murr end up wanting yesterday, Torta?
Oh, he wanted to talk to us about some business. Turtle will throw the kids a twit. They don't have the flies on it, and then he offers one taboo with the flies on it. Very pungent smelling concoction. Maybe skunky, if you will.
I
As
mean,
he eats another one.
I'm half lizard, so like I'll eat this. This is not something that's too unappealing.
That's true. That is true.
I'll recant the job offer to go looking into the Xanathar Guild a little bit more and the trouble that they're causing. And just let them know that I didn't agree or disagree to help. I don't speak for the group, not like my kind. They speak for you.
Jinku, roll an intelligence check for me, as Tortoise kind of telling you about this job that Mert had. Okay. So Jinku, as he's kind of talking about these intellect hours and um, what all is going on here with this job, the only thing that comes to your mind, Jinku, like it is just the word brain puppy.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that reminds me of marijuana. The little beholder things taking control of nobles in the city or upper echelon people controlling them.
Days
Look,
I get her brain puppy pet.
oh, you mentioned a mind player too. I'm remembering. I ate a couple of these special tarts.
It'll happen to the best of us. So we did see a mind flayer a long time ago with one of those little critters. Remember, Jinku? That little critter really kicked our butts, but we did stomp it.
It made me dumb.
Dumber, but yeah.
The shade.
It went like that totally went over Jinku's head.
Quick, you said what I was going to say. I was thinking the exact same thing.
I said the same thing in my head.
I mean, that's exactly what yeah, yeah.
I mean,
But yeah,
to be fair, Jinku probably would have said something similar.
Yeah, so you do recall that this is something that you have run into before, a long, long time ago, like you said, way back when shortly after you had rescued Raynar on like your first main quest here in the big city, finding Volo's friend Floon. You remember um, traveling through the sewers and coming across this kind of hideout of sorts down there that was being used by the Xanathar Guild and this mind flayer that you'd run into, and a few of these brain puppies, as well as a kind of half orc wizard that was working with him that you guys killed. But the mind flayer did leave. He got away from you all after he, mind controlled Blossom for a bit, and then pretty much just walked out of the room and left.
I'm wondering if that wasn't one of the creatures that were on the roofs out there with us. Got a funky vibe from it. We couldn't confirm it.
The ones on the roofs around like the Growlhuns, those ones?
Yeah, there was two people standing over on one of the other roofs adjacent to me, and I could never make it out who it was. But their little pets were around, so 2 and 2, you know?
Yeah, I mean, from what you know, I mean, like the little floaty things that you had, seen a few times around during the surveillance of the Grauhan Villa, those were gazers. Um, so a different type of creature. Um, but at least, in terms of the Xanathar Guild, um, yeah, you've kind of heard of these things before, at least. Um, but you don't recall seeing any intellect devourers. Um, but gazers you have.
Gotcha.
Well, there was that one guy that we rescued, and I've honestly been wanting to join the Xanathar Guild. So, if it helps, with Myrrh, we may as well give it a shot, right?
I just like to fight and eat tarts.
Me too.
At least they don't seem to kidnap kids.
True.
To try and join to see what you can get out of them and perhaps be our contact to the guild, you're welcome to.
Yeah, the question is how.
Well, we killed one of their the minions, right? The dude we push out the window. Maybe we get some street cred from doing that.
No, that was a Zen. Yeah, that was one of their enemies. That was a Zentarum guy. We haven't killed any Xanathar. Well, we haven't killed any Xanathars in a while.
I got them confused. They have the same sounding names.
They do.
Yeah.
One's an X and one is a Z, but it's hard to tell when it's not written out. But yeah, there is that. There is Ott, who was the guy that you, the dwarf with the kind of knitted beholder hat that you rescued a long time ago, and Squidly got kidnapped. He was being held and interrogated by the Zentrum gang. Um, you aren't quite sure offhand where you would find someone like him, but you know that from the very short time that you were talking with him, um, you know that he is a kind of a thief and a smuggler type person. So maybe around shadier parts of town. maybe you'll be able to get some info on where Ott's at.
To go anywhere near those drow pirates again.
Yeah, I don't want to have to burn their boat down.
Well, I mean, I would like to buy one of those things. And there was that one that needed to get away. I wish we could have rescued him.
Which one?
Or didn't he get away? The drow that was we the drow pirate that was like trying to escape with us.
That was the captain.
Yeah.
That was
We
the
left him
captain that.
behind.
Well,
Or
he had,
something, didn't we? Or did he escape and we just haven't seen him?
well, he had friends cast
Yeah,
on him when he was trying to escape with you. That was what got you into that situation in the first place,
yes.
kind of, because you guys had gone to talk to him and try to find out more about the Nimblewright, and then Mix cast friends on him, and he was trying to leave with you because he thought you guys were friends, but you guys all
Oh, I
ran.
misread that.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then you guys got there's kind of a pretty large force of drow that run those ships that kind of intimidated you all into running for your lives, and they managed to snap him out of the friends spell. You did, Torta. He went back on that ship later and got the book, the ledger, um, and Captain Zord was there, just as himself. Uh, Torta saw him for a moment when he was breaking into that room and stole the book. But yeah, no, he was just he was just kind of friends with you for a little bit there because of Mix's shenanigans. Friends don't let friends cast friends.
Yep. I remember now.
Time he casts friends, bad things happen.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. Well, do you guys know how you would join a thieves guild? I've never needed to do that. Should we just like go wander the city and look for that dwarf that we saw? He was in court.
Yeah, he did actually show up at your guys' court case. He was in the audience there. It's kind of hard to miss with his hat.
Yeah, I noticed
Hey,
him there.
in one of the shadier parts of town might yield some results if we ask around about him.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, you guys want to go on an adventure to a shadier part of town?
Yeah.
Leave our inn to go to another one.
Yeah, basically.
Pretty much. Okay. So do you guys kind of head out on the town this afternoon, trying to maybe head down to kind of the dock ward area, that kind of thing?
Yep.
Okay. Let's see here.
We could ask the guard where the shady folks hang out. They should know.
I mean, yeah, you could.
Yeah, you could.
It's like, you do you. I'm not gonna go near the guards.
Yeah, like I'll be in the area while you do that.
They're
I mean,
gonna
I don't
know
really need to
why
talk
you
to him.
want. They're gonna be like, why do you want to know what shady people are? Maybe you're shady.
We're heroes of the city. We killed demon devil worshippers.
I think we're pretty good at finding the shady people on our own. Even
So-
when we don't mean to.
So, I mean, in terms of shady places that you would at least kind of know where they are, um, you recall, a long, long time ago, um, when you first got into town and first started going out adventuring. Um, when you were looking for Floon, there was a kind of shady bar in the dock ward that you guys had stopped by a little bit, the Skewered Dragon. And you were kind of asking around some of the patrons in there. There's also that purple shop that was right across the street from it, this Oblob shop. But you recall that area of town, down in the dock ward, and that area was kind of a little bit run down on the iffy side of things. So that would be at least somewhere that you would be kind of familiar with.
All right.
Places any to start.
Yeah, agreed.
All right. Well, let me get a. Let's see. Let's see. That would be what, south east. Yes. Okay. All right. So you guys head down. Um, through the afternoon here, kind of heading down to the southern part of town here, and there is the kind of right around the middle of this map where you'll see there is the Way of the Dragon Road, and there's a street that goes off. That's Fillet Lane. Some of the green pins that are on there, you should see. One of them is the Skewered Dragon, which is the place that you have been before. Kind of like it was last time you were here. The place is a bit of a mess. Like the inn almost looks like it's a ruin, almost like you're kind of surprised it functions. Um, like the two windows on the front are smashed out. There's an anchor, like a whole ship anchor, uh, partway through the roof. It's kind of rusted and obviously been there a while. Seemingly that might be where its name came from. But you make it down to this area. Jinku and Boo, both of you roll a Constitution saving throw for me. Okay. So as you're kind of coming down the street, you got coming down the Way of the Dragon, like getting close to Fillet Lane and Skewered Dragon. Boo, your right hand ring and pinky finger are kind of starting to feel a bit stiff.
I'll look at it. Is it gray?
It's not as gray as your toe was, but it seems to be kind of trending that direction.
God damn it! I got gout again, Jinko.
Paying for your cure this time.
Well, no, I'm just gonna wait a day this time. But now, this is my main hand. You know.
Eat any more golden nuggets.
I won't eat any more of the golden nuggets.
All right. So like this part of town, most of the rest of Waterdeep, as you're going through the streets. I mean, this isn't too far off of the main Way of the Dragon road, which are quite a good bit of activity since that's one of the main routes through the city. As you get off of that and come over onto Fillet Lane, um, almost immediately it seems a fair bit rougher. Like looking around, like some of like the street lamps, like the glass on some of them is smashed out. Some of the other ones look okay, but some of the other ones have glass smashed out of some of the panels. The buildings around here are a little more kind of squat, not as many stories as some of the ones up in near part of town. Most of them are only like maybe one or two, and some of them, well, quite a few of them actually look in rather a state of disrepair to some extent or other. But then, of course, there's the skewered dragon, uh, looking quite worse for wear, kind of in this back area off the street. And of course, Boo, you see across the street as well, that purple shop that you had stopped in a long time ago.
Let's go to the purple shop. We've been there. Could be worth it. You gotta
So,
check this place out, Torta.
I'm down.
so you kind of turn towards the old Zoblob shop here, and again, just like there was last time you were here, in the window, um, there's kind of like a kind of a panel window on the front side of the shop, and behind it are some kind of lavish purple curtains that hang down, and in front of those curtains hangs a stuffed beholder that kind of sits there as a kind of a centerpiece in the middle of the window. As you enter the door, the little bell on the door rings, and there's a bit of like a cloud of lavender scented purple smoke that kind of trails out of the front door of the shop as you open it. And everything in here, again, like you're kind of assaulted with the amount of purple in the place. Like all the walls are purple, everything that's on the shelves is purple, and you see in the back part of the shop, the counter, and there's a hairless old gnome sitting kind of cross-legged on the counter. Currently seems to be kind of, it almost looks like he's like meditating of sorts. He isn't really wearing all that much aside from a set of these very plum-colored robes. They almost kind of look like maybe like a repurposed wizard robe of some sort. Kind of hangs off of him like a bathrobe of sorts. Then of course, he's got his nethers all wrapped up in kind of a purple cloth. But that's about all he's got. He's kind of puffing on a long pipe out of one corner of his mouth, also with this kind of lavender rings of smoke puffing out of it. On his cheeks, he's got these kind of painted eyes on his cheeks, purple, of course. Giving him the appearance that he has like 9 eyes. So there's 7 on his cheeks in addition to his 2 normal ones. Without opening his eyes, as you guys walk in and the bell rings, he says, "Hail and well met! Come browse the shelves of the most curious curiosity shop in the world. What can I do for you, friends?"
Well, I mean, you got so much purple stuff. There's just I just can't even pick. I was bringing my friend here. I'll point to Torte and I'll say I was showing him your wonderful shop. You got anything he might like?
And he kind of hops up a little bit on the counter here, stands up. The robes, which are like the robe that he's wearing, which is a little too long for his stature, kind of billows a little bit behind him as he stands up here, and he kind of peers through the purplish haze in this place at Torta. He says, "Well, I don't really see the likes of you around here very much. What sort of things are you interested in? Purple, I hope."
Tarts
Hmm.
and lily pads.
Tarts and lily pads, huh? Well, I'm certain there's probably tarts out there in the world that have purple filling, but I'm afraid I don't have any of them here. at the moment. Aren't really much of a edibles type of shop, I guess I would say. Most of the stuff here are all more trinket types. Lily pads, though, I don't really think I have anything in that department much either. And he kind of looks around a little bit across um, across some of the things on his shelves, and he hops down, and it's kind of you hear his bare feet kind of pattering across the floor here, and the smoke kind of swirling as he passes by, and he reaches over and kind of grabs a little uh, pipe sitting on one of the shelves here, and he says, "Do you like bubbles?" And he kind of blows on the pipe, and these little kind of purple bubbles kind of float up out of it.
That could be fun.
Yes, all sorts of fun things here. Like, and he kind of like looks around a bit here. He says, like this pair of lovely purple socks. And he kind of goes over to another shelf nearby and kind of holds up these. They seem, Jinku, like you kind of recognize, you're somewhat familiar with these kind of things, and it looks a little bit hastily knitted. Um, but they seem well enough. You're also Boo. You're kind of glancing around the shop as well. You see some other kind of strange things around. There's a let's see here. You see like a small portrait leaning up against one of the shelves here. On it is what looks to be a kind of uh, crude portrait of a goblin, it seems, but all done in various shades of kind of violet and purple paint. A few other things around. You see there's a small kind of purple cloth doll that seems to have been punctured with a few needles in a few places. Kind of get a weird vibe off of that. You find some, let's see, a couple kind of chess pieces made from this kind of tinted purple glass. Let's see, various other strange, parts of animals and other various creatures that either were purple or were dyed purple. Maybe you aren't quite sure. Um, the gnome, as you guys are all kind of perusing the shop here, is kind of excitedly, going around grabbing various things off shelves, kind of holding them up or like doing whatever it is that they do. You see him like grab like this kind of fanciful purple mask off the wall and kind of hold it over his face, and he's kind of standing next to you, Zyre, at this point. He kind of looks up at you with this mask on his face and goes, "Boo!"
Kind of stares blankly at him.
And like he's kind of staring at you for a little while. He says, "Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. I, I've seen you. I've seen you around here before, right? Never forget a purple. And you're purple all over. Yeah, it was like, a couple months back, I think."
Or
Hmm?
yes, we've been in your store before.
Ah, yes, yes, I thought so. Well, I can't remember if I asked you last time you were here, but you don't have any interest in being part of the shop, right? A whole purple person.
I'll pass.
Ah, darn. Well, well, that's okay. I'm sure maybe a long time from now, some party will end up here anyways. He has kind of a weird grin on his face as he says that.
Sire just kind of gives him like the stink eye.
And he continues walking around here, uh, kind of looking each of you over, and he looks up at you, Jink, and he's like, "What about you, large one? What are you looking for? Anything in particular here?
No.
Anything purple that piques your interest?"
No.
Ah, what a shame! What a shame. Well, if there's nothing purple you're after, I guess what brings you to the neighborhood? I guess.
My friends. And my feet.
Your feet?
Well, how do you think I got here? I didn't just appear. God, and people say I'm dumb.
It takes him a couple seconds when he kind of busts out laughing at this. He's like, "Ha! That's a good one! On your feet!"
It wasn't a joke, sir.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, it was a good one nonetheless.
Jinko just looks at him like he's completely crazy.
So we were actually looking for a friend of ours we haven't seen in a while. Didn't know, maybe you might know. I've seen him come through your shop. He wears a hat that's kind of unique. It's got all sorts of like little eye stalks with eyeballs on them. Coming off of it. He's a little dwarf, kind of kooky. He's a unique fellow.
And you kind of describe Ott to him here, and he kind of let's see here. 1 second. Let me get. Oh crap! Where did that go? Where is it? Ah, okay. So he kind of gets a kind of a more serious look around his face, and he kind of jumps back up onto the countertop here, and looks over you all, and especially at you, Boo, since you were the one asking about him, and he says, "8 small eyes, huh? How would you like those arranged?"
Uh, nicely.
Yeah, he kind of nods a little bit in your response, and he says, "Ah, well, I can't say that I've seen the ones like him around, but if you're interested in beholders of sorts, I'm sure I can find a stuffed toy or something like the one I have out front."
I appreciate that. Maybe keep an eye out for one for me.
All right. I hope you like it in purple.
Oh, I love purple, buddy.
And he kind of grins. You can see he's got like a couple missing teeth in his mouth as he grins here. And he says, "Well, good. That's a shame you aren't interested in anything this time, but I guess come back again if you need anything a little more purple in your life."
We'll do. We'll do. You have a good day, friend. You have a good day.
And he kind of again nods at you and kind of sits back down in how he was when you guys first came into the shop. Continues kind of puffing on his pipe here again. And you guys make your way back out onto the street.
Seemed like some sort of code.
Yes, but I do believe he gave us some information. He mentioned that he had a figure out front, and I'll look at the front of his shop. Does he have? Is there some sort of like beholder out front, like sign anywhere?
There's like in the window, like in that main front window, there is that kind of stuffed uh, beholder looking, like it's kind of like a stuffed doll of a beholder, kind of a bright purple that hangs in the window. Seems to be kind of like a centerpiece of like or mascot of the shop almost.
Maybe other places might have something like this as a sign.
Or maybe you buy that and then he shows up.
I mean, I'd be okay with that too.
Beholder in the front window is some sort of signal to other members of the Xanathar Guild that their kind is here. Maybe he is part of the guild.
Yeah, like Tordo, I agree with both of you. Like Tordo said, I think that what he asked how they wanted them arranged was some sort of code, but I don't know the right answer here.
Eyes arranged on the beholder in the window.
Well, you take a look at the beholder in the window. In terms of like the eye stalks on the beholder, there doesn't seem to be any sort of like pattern in the way that they're arranged. At least in like what know, in lore about beholders, you never actually like run into one personally. Um, it seems to be kind of just patterned after the way that they typically look, um, with the eye stalk kind of around the top of the head of sorts of the beholder. Um, but I mean, at least from this from this stuffed one in the window and the one on like Ott's hat, and then just ones that you've read about or whatever. Like it seems like it's just a toy stuffed recreation of a beholder.
Well, should we maybe walk around and see if we see any other like beholder signs around town? And I don't know what else to do other than inquire and try again, right?
Sort of dip back in the store and ask how much for the beholder in the window.
Okay. So Torta, you head back inside the shop here, and as you walk through the door, the gnome that was here kind of happily greets you again and says, "Ah, you're back. That was fast. Changed your mind?"
Yes, I'm interested in the lovely purple beholder in the window.
Ah, yes. Well, I'm afraid the one in the window isn't for sale, but I have little stuffed replicas of it if you're wanting a souvenir.
No, I was really interested in the one that was in the window.
Oh, well, I'm sorry, that's the shop. That's the shop mascot. He's been here for years and years and years. I'm afraid I can't let him go.
All right. You sure there's no price? It
I
can be
am
met?
I am absolutely sure there's no price.
I'll give you a good tart recipe with flies on it.
I'm afraid that doesn't really pique my interest there, friend.
All right, I had to try.
Of course, of course. And you see him kind of like reach behind the desk here. You kind of hear his hand kind of going around what sounds like kind of a wicker basket of sorts. And he holds up, his hand comes back up and he's holding like a kind of a miniature little kind of cloth replica of the little beholder mascot.
How much is that thing?
For one of these, we let these go for about 10 copper pieces each. Spread the word to all your purple loving friends.
How about, do you have 3 of them?
Oh, I've got to admit, I got plenty of these. And he kind of brings his hands together, kind of excitedly, and reaches down behind the counter here. He rifles around like this, kind of sounds like a basket of something, and pulls up a few more. Kind of holds his hand up. He's got a couple of these in his hand now, and they're all fairly similar looking. I mean, they're handmade, so there's some differences between them, but they're all this kind of bright shade of violet. Tell everyone you got them at the old Zoplop shop.
Can we arrange the stocks like those out in the window?
Like they all like they already are all kind of in a similar fashion to the one out front.
Great. And I'll hand him a gold.
All right, so you hand
grab the 3.
okay. So he kind of hands you these 3 and kind of turns over the gold and says, "Well, feeling generous today, aren't we? I won't say no, of course. Thank you."
Yeah, we took up a little bit of your time. The payment for that. And let us know if you see the little dwarf with this hat on.
Certainly, certainly. Well, if you ever find out how you want those arranged, just let me know.
Yeah. Kind of like the ones in the window. You have a hat like that one?
Afraid I don't have any hats like that at the moment. Just these little replicas.
Oh, had to try. And I'll depart because I've had enough of purple.
All right.
And once outside, I'll tell him it's definitely a code because he asked me again about the arrangement of the stalks, and then I'll hand Boo the 3 beholders, plushies.
Oh, thank you.
You're the one that has kids, right?
Yeah, I think that they'll be quite happy, but wouldn't you want to give it to them?
It looks better if you're holding them. You're more childlike than me.
Ha!
I'm the tallest
Well,
frog in town.
yeah. All right. All right. Don't get too high and mighty, mister. I'll learn polymorph at some point. And I'll wink at him and grin and tuck these away in my bag.
But yeah, I think we need to figure out the stalks because he asked again, how do you want those arranged?
I agree. I think we need to figure that out for sure.
The beholder that's in the window, can you... Never mind. I answered my own question in my head.
Okay.
I will take a look, like a real good look at the beholder and see if there's anything special about the eye stalks that are out there. Like if the eyes look different or if they have a symbol next to them or underneath them, something to kind of distinguish the pattern.
I mean, from what you can see looking at it through the window, it doesn't seem like there's any like symbols or any sort of like discernible order to them.
Okay. So we're gonna search for beholder markings around town here.
Yes.
Theories was maybe if we find like other shops that have like a beholder on a sign or in the window that the owner is like somehow affiliated with Xanathar's guild.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Let's wander. Let's wander around town.
Do we want to split and maybe do it faster? I got one of these stones I can yell at. It seems to work.
I don't know that you have to yell at him though.
I figured that's how it
Me,
was triggered.
you don't have to yell. You just have to think.
Oh, I don't even have to talk? And I'll be just like start look at the stone and start thinking about tarts. Grape tarts and peach tarts and lemon tarts.
Oh no.
Zara, in your head, you just your mind is like just full of tarts, 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 tarts.
Poor Zayara.
Well, I mean, in terms of, and we can start keep looking around this chunk of the city here, like you said, trying to find other signs. You do recall, um, a long time ago when you were trying to find that Xanathar hideout in the sewers forever ago. There was a symbol that you recall following down there. That was like a circle with spokes kind of around it, like all the way around it. It kind of looked like a sun almost, like the way it was drawn. Um, but you recall that being something that you'd seen a long time ago, Boo's era.
Hmm. Well, what do you guys think?
Place to
What's that, Zara?
it's a place to start.
Yeah. Well, let's go then. Take a closer look. Yeah.
Okay. Um, so you guys just kind of head around the neighborhood here.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. All right. So you continue kind of looking around this part of town a bit, seeing if you see anything that stands out. Everybody go ahead and roll a investigation check for me as you're kind of looking around, trying to keep an eye out for this. Okay. So you kind of go looking around, and let's see here. Where did I put is. So you look around a fair bit, and most of the you kind of are walking along the edge of the road here, trying to stick close to the shops to see if you see anything like marked on the walls at all or anything like that. And you do eventually come across. Let's see here. There appears to be a confectioner's shop a couple streets over to the south on Spices Street, a couple blocks down. And Boo, you notice on kind of the alley wall, like a little ways in, um, a little bit obscured, is this kind of yellow marking, uh, very low on the alley side wall of a confectioner shop on this street.
And the marking looks like what again?
It it looks like a it kind of looks like a sun. It's a circle with 8 spokes around it.
Okay. And there's just graffiti on a wall. Can I go into the building it's on and see if there's anything there?
Here, let me get you a. Let me get you an image here real quick. Let me just save this. Here we go. Pull this up in game. Here we go. It looks like this. And it's kind of like it's in kind of a yellowish color. The way it's like kind of scrawled down kind of in the lower part of this alley wall. The confectioner shop does seem to be open, so you can go inside if you want.
It's a confectioner shop. They may have like tarts or something. I'll go inside.
Yeah, for sure. So you head inside the confectioner shop here. There's like maybe one or two other people that are in here browsing the various sweetmeats and things that they have here. And looking through the cases here, you see they have kind of quite a wide variety of sweets. Um, Most of them are kind of fashioned in kind of the form of eyes in various ways. So there's little small cakes, there's little sugar plates, little candied nuts, little um, what looks like um, kind of lollipops of sorts, like little kind of round candies on little sticks. And all of them have like kind of an eye pattern etched into their sugar somewhere.
Quite a theme you've got going on in this shop here, huh?
You're kind of looking around, at this and call this out, and there is a kind of a tall, slender, um, half. Wait, hold on. Let me see. Kind of a tall, slender, half ogre, actually. You see standing behind the counter here. He actually looks. He almost looks a little bit kind of awkward there with his size. I mean, he kind of comes up almost all the way to the ceiling, and he has like a little uh, apron on in the front, and kind of like an awkward smile. And he says, "Yes, of course. Here at the Orb Confectioners, we specialize in all manner of eye-shaped sweets and candies for the family to enjoy."
You just like that shape or what?
Well, it sells well. You got to have a gimmick in the confectioner's business.
Is your gimmick like trying to establish like a lot of Xanathar's members as your clientele?
So you say this, and he gets kind of a shocked look on his face, and like the other two people that are like in here as well, that were kind of like browsing stuff, both also kind of turn and look at you here. It's like a shocked look on your face, and says, this half ogre kind of looks down at you here, and he's like, "Well, I mean, Xanathar's a bit of a famous person around these parts, wouldn't you say?"
Well, yeah, I agree. They're famous from what I hear. I'd love to try and meet them.
One of the other patrons here, kind of looks to be at least from what you can make out, he seems to be like a Durgar of some kind. He kind of lets out somewhat of a belly laugh when you say that you want to meet Xanathar.
I'll grin and I'll say, "Yeah, I know, right, friend? It's hard as hell. Just somebody. I really been interested in this Xanathar group ever since I heard about them. To be honest, that's me being completely honest with you."
The Durgar kind of continues to laugh. He's like, uh, "This one thinks he can just up it and meet the Xanathar. He doesn't know what he's getting himself into."
Didn't you regale me with the story of saving one of their members one time?
I did indeed. I have saved them before. Yes. I can't. What was his name again? Zyra. Jinku, you guys helped us save him. Saved his life. We did.
We save a lot of people. I can't remember all their names.
He was that guy that wore the one with the hat that looked like a beholder's head. Yeah. Anyway, so like really, I've just been looking for him because I told him when I saved his life I was interested. I figured that saving the lives of one of their members would show sincerity. I could have just killed him or something.
So as you're kind of describing here to these um, to these people here in the shop, the half ogre kind of leans over the count over the kind of the counter and the cases, which isn't too difficult for him to do. Yeah, he's pretty tall, and you see him kind of like almost his face kind of hovering over you, Boo, over the counter, and he says, "You know Ott?"
That's the name, Ott. Yeah. Huh, crazy little bastard. But yeah, I don't know him incredibly well. Again, I'm being completely honest with you. I rescued him one time, and I wanted to get to know him a little better.
All right, and The half orc kind of leans, he kind of leans back, back behind the counter here, and you see him kind of glance at the other two here in the shop, and you see him kind of glance toward the door. And the other two that are here kind of make their way back outside, so it's just you and the half ogre in here now. And he kind of looks at you all and says, "Well, what business do you have with Ott? If you need to speak with him, I can get in touch with him for you if you need to. See if he actually knows who you are. If he doesn't, though, well, let's just say it may not be the best meeting."
I've had a lot of people tell me that, just so you're aware. And it wasn't a problem, as is obvious. And I'll obviously tap at the little magic missile tattoo I gave myself. And then I'll say, yeah, why don't you tell Ott we were looking to talk to him? The guys that saved him. We told him we were from the Troll Skull Manor. You know, that place the Zentrums worked at getting bombed, firebombed a while ago.
At this, the half ogre kind of lets out this kind of deep laugh, and he goes, "Oh, Zents are after you, huh? Well, if you've been taking out Zents, well, that may change things in your favor a little bit. Bloody
I killed one.
bastards."
Pushed him out a
Oh,
window.
what? Just some run-of-the-mill grunt of theirs, or someone that matters?
Was his name Order? Started with a U. Couldn't really catch it as he fell out the window.
Was dressed well, though.
Boo, roll an intelligence check for me. We'll see if you remember who he is.
Can I argue that it would be a history check because it's in the past?
That's fair. Yeah, I guess history check would make more sense. Okay, cool.
I needed every bonus I could get on that roll.
That's fine. That works perfectly fine. You recall that his name was Erstol Floxton, and you also recall his mutton chops.
Oh, yeah, he was a guy with mutton chops. His name was Rishol, you said, right?
Or Erstol.
Erstal was his name. Erstal. I'll be honest, and I'll look at Torta and I'll say, you know, if I'm thinking back right, I've never seen a Zentrum leave my presence alive. They've crossed my path, and I have a blood vow against them.
Well, Erstol Floxton struck down at last. I thought I'd heard rumors of that. So it was you, huh?
Well, it was
I'm one
him.
for one.
Yeah.
1-for-1 against them.
Well, and he kind of thinks for a moment and says, I'll tell you what. I'll need to verify that your story is true with some acquaintances of mine. But how about you come back here a little later tonight, and if it turns out that you really are the ones that killed Erstol Floxton, well, we'll see if what Ott can do for you here. When you
Okay.
when you come tonight, don't come through the front door. There's a small door on the back side of the place. Knock 3 times at the door. And when they ask you how you would like the 8 small eyes arranged, tell them around an ocular cake. And they'll see to it that you were let in without any trouble.
Can it be an ocular tart?
I mean, you can certainly say an ocular tart, but I can't guarantee your safety.
Cake it is.
All right. We can do that.
All right, well, is there anything after he kind of says this to you, and he had kind of a serious look on his face, a bit intimidating, being a half ogre and all. But after this, he kind of immediately kind of straightens back up and gets kind of a little bit more of a cheerful look on his face and says, "Well, that out of the way, is there anything here in the shop I can get for you today, good sirs?" And as he kind of perks up with this here, you can see the other two that were kind of that had gone outside. They come back in through the door, and kind of again, kind of just kind of poke aimlessly around the shop. One of them kind of sits in a chair nearby.
Do you have any peach tarts with swamp flies?
Well, I can't really say flies are much of anything that we see commonly asked for, but we certainly do have some tarts of that sort. You have to supply your own flies, I guess. And he kind of points over to a case nearby, and he has a few different tarts in there. All of them, the way that they're designed, like the tart, it's kind of circular tart structure, and then there's kind of a almost like a cat's eye pupil shape in the middle of the tart, where all the filling is. Kind of giving them the appearance of an eye. It says 2 copper apiece for those.
How many different flavors do you have?
Well, the ones that we have out here today, well, there's some peach that you were asking about. Got some apple. We've got some, let's see, what were these ones? Some mincemeat. And I think those are the 3 main ones we did here today.
I'll just take 2 of each of the apple and the peach. You can keep your mincemeat stuff.
All right.
It's foul.
Well, to each his own, friend. So he scoops up a couple of these into a little bag here and says, "Well, that'll be 8 copper pieces then for the lot."
Yep. We'll trade off.
All right. And you got some eye-shaped tarts and some information, and you head back out to the street. And with that, this will probably be a good place to stop for tonight. And we will see you guys again in 2 weeks.
Good game, man. Thanks for running again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Appreciate it.
All right. Let me go ahead and see if there's anybody I can send the stream to. Let's see here.
Diesel Shot's a pretty good guy. He runs like custom setups.
It said Diesel Shot.
Yeah, like the fuel DIESELSHOT.
Sure. Okay. We'll send over to Diesel Shot then. And 3, 2, 1. Off we go.
Runs like